What's up, Patriots? It's Leon Francis with BlackBeardLogic on the Guns in the 701 Network, and tonight we're calling out grift and gaslighting. Democrats in Minnesota, in the Minnesota House Rules Committee just voted party line to block any investigation into the massive fraud under Tim Walz. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Representative Peggy Scott, who basically tore all of their excuses to shreds. And then we're also going to talk about, still in Minnesota, Ismail Said, the kingpin in Minnesota's biggest Medicaid fraud case, nearly $11 million stolen from taxpayers. Guess where he is, and guess who let him get away? Unbelievable. Got a little bit of good news. Vance Bishop, our good buddy here on the Guns in the 701 Network, proud dad of a 10-year-old Army vet who served in Iraq, is taking veterans on a healing outdoor adventure right after this show. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Please go support Adventures for Veterans GoFundMe today. Donate or share it. We're also going to talk about why my family decided to homeschool. I made a video. It did very well. I think the last time I looked at it, it was up around 1,800 views, so pretty good, especially when I'm getting shadow banned by Facebook. And we're also going to talk about my favorite Justice Clarence Thomas, who dropped absolute fire ahead of America's 250th birthday. This is his quote: "Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premise of the Declaration of Independence. It holds that our rights and dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and a weakness incompatible with a Constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights." I think he nailed it there. We are going to unpack that. Our rights come from God, not from bureaucrats, not from Washington. So buckle up. It's truth over feelings. Let's get it. Welcome back. It's Leon Francis. This is BlackBeardLogic on the Guns in the 701 Network. And yes, again, I'm late. And I'm sorry, folks. Some of us have to work, and with me, I tried to get back here. I let my team know, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late. But, sometimes you just can't. And sometimes the old 1500 will only go 90 miles an hour safely, So that's it in a nutshell. I've been absent for a little bit. Last week I was absent because, and I'm going to play a couple of highlights about my son's fight. But it was a pretty awesome night. Had a bunch of folks show up there. I was absolutely hoarse. Like, I'm out there. Let's go. That sort of thing. Big dad energy. Really proud of the kid. When he first started, and I'm not going to, get too far in the weeds, but it's something that I talk about a lot, actually. And it's a really good example. Like, if you know the backstory, it's a really good example. Can you hear my mic? Okay. It's a really good example of something I talk about. Boys need adversity to become great men. And my son started this journey only a couple of years ago. And there was a bit of adversity in his life that led to this. Life literally shook him, and he got it. And then he focused up. And, man, he was beast mode out there. He went, he got, like, there's a saying in the South, he got it out the dirt. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm pretty proud of the kid. I think I have, give me 1 second here, right here. So I put this. Hey, Lynette, good evening. Sorry, I'm a bit late. So last week, my brother, he flew up from Louisiana, and this is the guy that I named my son after, Marcus after. So it was pretty cool that he would fly up. Marcus took second in Iowa last year. I wasn't able to be there. Um, so this fight was a pretty big fight, big crowd out there at the Dakota Magic, you know, and man, dude brought the energy. It just brought the energy, and I'm gonna play. I cut a little video about last Friday. I'm gonna play that now.
Hey guys, just wanted to hop on here, give you a little content. As you know, I didn't do my show Friday because I had kind of a big deal going on this weekend. My little brother, who I named my son after, Marcus, flew up from Louisiana, so we had like 25 years to catch up on, and we did that. But more importantly, I think my son had his fight last night, and it was spectacular. Me and Eli have no voice left. It was a pretty good deal. My mindset is always let's get it, and that's exactly what the boy did. He got after it, and he didn't stop going after it till he got it done. And since I got no voice left, I'm gonna hit this hair of the dog, and I'm gonna play this video. Let you see how the boy did.
Okay, let's go.
Bring you the pain.
I also want to thank everybody that came out and showed my boy some love. Tom Kravinoff, all the combat veterans, had a whole table there. Lisa Robert, my buddy Big Dog Bob Wheeler, who bought me a Kershaw, which is awesome. Love those things. Anybody I forgot, I'm sorry, but there was a ton of people there. It was fun. Make sure you tune in on Friday. BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701. Let's get it.
So that was it. I cut that video and I put in some highlights from the fight. He won by unanimous decision. He had 3 knockdowns. He fought a really, really tough kid. I mean, if you saw that fight, you saw that kid took some punishment, and he kept getting back up, and we were like, "Oh wow!" So had to give that kid some kudos too because he was tough. He kept on coming, and there you go. But my son dug in. He had something to prove. You know, we're all sitting out there. We're all like, let's get it. And yeah, he dug deep. He pulled it out. So it was good. Like this kid, and it was the funniest thing. There was a whole fight card. His fight, if it wasn't the most exciting fight, it was up there. Like you had in any fight, and I love MMA. Like if you know me, you know that about me. Um, but you get some of those fights, and they're not very entertaining. They're not high energy. You got guys in there that don't want to go hard because they're afraid to get hurt. That sort of thing. And in this fight, there was some of that. Like if he wasn't like in the top three fights on the card in level of intensity and excitement, if he wasn't number one, he was in the top three. I'll just say that. Like the whole crowd was on its feet. The whole crowd was just going nuts, mainly because I was right on the floor going nuts, and Eli was right behind me. Let's go! That's my brother. It was pretty. I was pretty stoked. I'm pretty happy with all the folks that came out, and my buddy Bob Wheeler, who I probably should have called and had on the show tonight, but I didn't have time. He came out and joined me and brought me a nice little Kershaw. I'm partial to those knives. I like those knives. So thank you, Bob Wheeler, if you're listening. All right, let's go ahead and dig in the show. It's going to be an abridged show because one, I'm late, and two, my good buddy Vance Bishop, and he is a member of the 701 Guns in the 701 family. So he and we're going to get into this, so I'm not going to really dig into it. That's one of the topics that we're going to talk about tonight. Um, but he is hosting I think it's a 1 hour show, and we're going to talk about that, and that's going to be at 8 o'clock. And I don't want to dig into that. I want you guys to 100% watch that. So we're going to keep it a little bit abridged. So I'm going to get through these topics, and the first one is this one. The Democrats in the Minnesota House Rules Committee voted straight party line to block any investigation into the massive the massive fraud under Tim Walz. So billions was stolen in taxes. They shut it down. Um, the one bright light in that whole thing, and I kind of watched the whole thing. Um, was what's her name? Representative Peggy Scott. Uh, was her response. So we're gonna listen to that. Here, give me 1 second. There's no accountability here.
Public to imagine for a moment, if you will, that $9 billion worth of fraud would have happened under Governor Tim Pawlenty. I would say that probably he would have been forced to resign by now. I'm just speculating, but based on my history in this place, there's always a double standard. And Representative Jordan, you're talking about petty grievances. $9 billion in fraud is a petty grievance. Taxpayers, today is tax day, the day that the government extracts money from you that involuntarily. Okay? A petty grievance of $9 billion, and we talk about affordability. $9 billion would go a long way towards helping affordability in the state of Minnesota for people that can't even afford to put gas in their car right now. And to call this idea harebrained, Representative Coulter, $9 billion, holding people accountable for $9 billion in fraud, I don't see as harebrained, and I don't think the people of Minnesota do either.
And I'd go a step further if I were her. And she goes on here a bit. This clip is like 3 minutes long, and I edited it 4 times, and it was still about 3 minutes long. The fact of the matter is, it's not just Minnesota uh, taxpayers that are being grifted out of this money, and like it upsets me to no end. Like to see Democrats doing their little video on tax day, knowing that the hardworking taxpaying American is footing the bill for so much waste, so much fraud, so much abuse. I think about how hard salt of the earth Americans work. And I'll go a step further than that. Like there's a lot in America that we need to fix. I got a Marine buddy of mine that's really going through it right now, just getting raked through like family courts and this and that. This dude signed on the dotted line, went and was a Marine, did what his country asked. He comes back. His wife, and I'm not going to disparage them. I mean, I pray every day for reunification, so I'm not going to disparage her. But the fact that he has to be drugged through this crap, and there's like no protections for him. Like it looks like everything that she wants, and he wasn't abusive. It's not a situation like that. Um, but just to watch what he has to go through the family court system, and it breaks him. And he's a Marine. Things like that upset me. The the, the people that make this country great are very often the people who are the least respected. Our money isn't respected. Our time isn't respected. Our voice isn't respected. When I hear tax day is coming or it's tax day, it pisses me off. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't want my hard earned tax money to go to Washington. I don't want it to because I know what those guys are all about. They're not about honesty. They're not about doing what's best for them. They pretty much tell us that every day. They hate us. They use us as an open ATM, and they get upset when we want to close our wallets a little bit. Hey, Michael, how you doing, buddy? Should have had Michael on because if I start talking about taxes, this show is going to take an ugly turn because I am not that guy, man. I'm not that guy. And we're gonna. Hey, Michael, stick around. So we're a homeschool family, and we take it very, very seriously. And I'm a outspoken advocate for homeschooling because I believe that public schools are breaking our kids, especially our boys. 9 billion is petty. I'll settle for one. Yeah. I mean, it's just. But so I did a video on why we homeschool. I'm going to play that. That video. 2 points on that, and then we'll finish this segment up. 2 points on that video. One, I the day I put it up, I think it was, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night. I woke up. I think it was 6, 7 o'clock when I checked it. Already had 1,200 views. I think the last time I checked it, it was ticking up to 2,000, and I think that's phenomenal. And it's phenomenal because during that time, uh, Facebook hit me with another censor. Didn't tell me why. Just said basically, hey, for safety reasons, and I posted this on my Facebook page. For safety reasons, we are limiting your reach, and your page isn't going to be recommended. So basically, they were shadow banning me. But even with that, it got broad circulation, and I'm stoked about that. I hope a million people see it and decide to take their kids back. Because if you love your kid, why would you send them into an institution that will break them? That is designed to break them. And we're going to talk about that in a later segment here. But I wanted to point out the fact that they make so light of this fraud, the Democrats anyway, so light of it. Like it's only $9 billion. And you look at this and you're just like, wow. And if you think that makes your blood boil, again, we have problems in this country. Judges are one of them. The story that we're going to talk about after this one, it's tied to this, but it's going to make your blood boil. Here, I'm going to let this play out a little bit.
You talk about Representative Howard of every day ending in Y. Every day ending in Y is a new fraud story in the state of Minnesota. It's embarrassing, and it's expensive, and it ticks most people off. It ticks me off a lot as a taxpayer who just paid thousands of dollars in taxes. The people of this state want accountability.
Right.
That's why we're here today. It's not because of what President Trump did. It's not because of what something J.D. Vance said. It's not any of that. This is what is within our power as state legislators to bring before the legislature and this committee to hold elected officials accountable. The governor needs to be held accountable for this fraud. The attorney general lied before Congress. That's no small thing. Tell me if those weren't Republicans what you would be doing.
Correct.
Have some intellectual honesty here. Care about the people of Minnesota and all the fraud that's happening in this state. And try for just 1 minute to hold people accountable regardless of what their party affiliation is. Thank you, Mr.
The roll call has been requested.
Now, this is the vote. This is the vote here. And you'll notice how the vote goes. Just listen.
Chair votes aye.
Mr. Chair, do we get closing statements? Very short.
We're on a roll call vote, Representative Weiner.
Chair
Wiener.
Long? No. Vice Chair Schultz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Hollins?
No.
Representative Allen?
Yes.
Representative Coulter?
No.
I'll save you the time and the angst of going through that. All the Democrats voted no, we don't want it investigated. All of them, everyone, party line. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, they do not care. I mean, every single day I look across, our border over there in Minnesota, kind of like Sarah Palin can see Russia from her house, from her backyard. Yeah, kind of like that. And I shake my head at what's happening over there under Tim Walz. This guy was that close to being vice president of the United States of America. Minnesotans got robbed of $9 billion. $9 billion of hard-earned taxpayer money funneled straight out the door through 14 Medicaid programs. $9 billion to 14 Medicaid programs. Fraud on a scale that should make your blood boil. Billions vanished while families scraped by. Roads crumbled. And taxes are already high. And Democrats, make no mistake, like you got that idiot Mondami out in New York City. Every day, I believe they wake up with the thought of how they can steal more money. I'm telling you. That's what they do. That's their entire purpose in life, is to figure out a way to steal more of your sweat equity. It's unbelievable. Every single Democrat on the Rules Committee lined up in lockstep and voted to block any investigation into that massive fraud. Not one of them had the guts to say, hey, let's just look at this and see what's going on. Nope. I mean, and I ask myself, and I'm not going to bloviate long, but I ask myself, how is this even legal? How is it legal to block an investigation into the outright theft of taxpayer money? Like, don't they have like a fiduciary responsibility to the people who pay their damn salaries? Aren't they supposed to be stewards of public money, not gatekeepers protecting the crooks who steal it? I mean, they're not just looking the other way. They're actively shielding the theft. They're outright stealing from hardworking taxpayers, from teachers, from nurses, from farmers, from truck drivers, from IT guys, from small business owners. People like you and me who get up every morning, punch the clock, get late to come back home and sit here and talk to you good folks on the podcast. They think nothing of reaching into our wallets and helping themselves. And to me, that cheeses my grits. $9 billion? That's not an inefficiency. That's not a mistake. That's betrayal on a breathtaking scale. And the people we elected to watch the store just voted to keep the lights off and to keep the books sealed. That's not leadership. That's not public service. That's corruption, plain and simple. And they think we will forget. Now, that's the only thing that they're correct on. Americans seem to have the attention spans of goldfish, the memories of a guppy. And it's sad because I don't want to leave my son with this type of corruption. And I am afraid that that is exactly what's going to happen. I don't understand folks that don't understand how serious this is. It's, to me, it's probably one of the biggest stories, and it's not just Minnesota. You have California, you have Michigan, you have what's going on in it's nationwide, nationwide. And here's another story that's gonna cheese your grits. So if you tuned in to have a nice, quiet Friday conversation, you might want to sit this one out because the topics are going to lighten up on the back end of the show. But right now, again, this is grit cheesing things right here. Have you heard of Ismail Said? He was charged with racketeering and theft by swindle in Minnesota's largest Medicaid fraud case. He's accused of defrauding the program of nearly $11 million through home health agencies between 2019 and 2023. So what is that? 4 years. Oh, and that's not even the kicker. The kicker is he had a prior 2022 Medicaid fraud conviction. So this is his second time, his second bite at the onion, so to speak. So tens of millions of dollars. You want to know where he is now? Because we had him. He went in front of a judge. Let's find out where Mr. Said is right now.
Prosecutors also charged Said with perjury, and his trial Monday was set to be the crowning moment in the state's long investigation. But according to multiple sources, he has instead successfully fled the country. How? He had no travel restrictions. At a bail hearing after he was charged, prosecutors wanted to set bail at $1 million, but Judge Juan Hoyos gave Said two options: a $50,000 bond where he gives up his passport, or a $150,000 bond with no conditions. Said opted for the higher amount, and he kept his passport.
Does that piss you off? So this dude, having stole tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer money, this judge set a $150,000 bond, allowed him to keep his passport, despite the prosecutors going, dude, that would be a mistake. And they told the judge, hey, he's going to be a flight risk. He has family in Kenya. Kind of like, Barack. They wanted $1 million plus and him to surrender his passport. Now, you got to understand, this dude has stolen tens of millions of dollars. So a $150,000 bond, I mean, you think that's a good trade-off? You keep your passport. His passport, if you were anywhere in the vicinity of Washington during January 6th, you didn't even have to be like in the building, anything like that. If you were anywhere in the vicinity your passport, not your passport, but you were flagged and you couldn't fly. I know that for a fact because I have friends that this happened to. This dude was allowed to leave the country. How far do you think $11 million is going to go? And I believe it was more than that. I believe they're downplaying these numbers. But how far do you think $11 million is going to get him in Kenya? Does he ever have to come back here? I'm going to say no. You know, is there extradition from Kenya? I'm going to say no. And Lynette, you're right. We got to do something about these judges. Like, I'm going to do a show, and I'm just going to have judge after judge. The whole show is going to be on judges and the stupid crap that they are doing, making us less safe. It's like they're a friend to the criminal. Like, what was the rationale for allowing this dude after? And I can understand, you know, you're a judge, you got a big caseload and everything. Maybe you miss a couple of, but when the prosecutors say this dude has family in Kenya, you should make him surrender his passport, and the judge says no, gives him a minuscule. I mean, to me and you, $150,000 is a lot of money. But to a dude that just grifted it over $11 million, that's not that big a deal. And acts, I believe you're right. He'll probably do, they normally do. Like this dude, again, he had a prior Medicaid fraud conviction in 2022. So, yeah, this kind of stuff gets me a little hot, especially during tax season. We're going to come back after this commercial break, and we're going to talk about my good buddy Vance Bishop, who is doing some pretty awesome things, and I'm stoked. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy to bring you this information and help. I think I'm going to donate $100 to the cause. And I would encourage you guys all to do the same. I mean, it's a good cause. I think that's what I'm going to do. When we come back from this commercial, we'll talk about it. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from BlackBeardLogic on the Guns in the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on now.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Now, this I'm very, very happy to report. Um, Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network, still rocking the old school. I don't know if you can see that right there. Guns in the 701. This is my favorite hat. Like it is, and you can see I've worn this quite a bit. It's been in my pocket rolled up. It's getting frayed. It's a little, but it's my absolute favorite hat. I throw this thing on pretty much every morning. It probably smells like some mixture of hair product and I don't know sweat and up here, but I'm wearing this thing till it just falls to pieces. I love it. Guns in the 701 Network. Uh, Vance Bishop, who does the Sunday Sportsman. So this is his baby here. And at 8 o'clock tonight, live on Sportsman's Watch, this will be the opening of veterans nominations. Now, I've submitted my veteran, Tom Krabanoff. So I'd be happy if you guys hopped in there and helped the brother out there. I don't know how much pull I got with old Vance, but if you guys could hop in there and be like, hey, I heard about this Tom Krabanoff. He's a pretty cool dude. But Vance, as you guys probably know, is proud parent of a 10-year Army veteran who served in Iraq. He was inspired by his son's sacrifice, and so he's giving back. He's taking veterans on a healing outdoor adventure. That's hunting, that's fishing, that's hiking, that's whatever brings them peace in nature. And they're not just trips, they're opportunities for connections, for healing, making memories that last a lifetime. And again, a lot of times our veterans, they come home. It's not a lot of appreciation. Like I told you, right now, I have a very, very good, dear friend that's going through some things. I have multiple veterans that I'm friends with that are going through some things. I have one of those cats in great condition. Like, hey, uh, JD, I'll be down there. We're going to talk about that too if I have time. Good God, the time is getting away from me right now. Got to shut my yap and get the show rolling. Anyway, your support helps purchase recording equipment to share these journeys, provides the gear that the veterans need, sends them home with special care packages. Every dollar goes straight into honoring our heroes. And if you want to make a real difference for the men and the women who sacrifice so much for our country, visit the Adventures for Veterans GoFundMe page today and donate and share their word. And go on Vance's page. Have I been calling him Vince all night? If I hope not, but I don't know why that name is stuck in my head right now. Vance Bishop. He is the host of the Sportsman Sunday devotional every Sunday, and this is his baby here with Sportsman Watch Outdoors. Vance is showing our veterans the appreciation they truly deserve. Visit his page. Go to the GoFundMe. Donate. Nominate a veteran. I'm partial to Tom Krabanoff, and I've said why before. So there you go. Vance doing great things. Now, that's feel good story number one. Feel good story number two. Why I homeschool. Why my wife and I decided to homeschool. Now, homeschoolers, you got to understand. I sent my wife and I. We had our litter and we broke it up a little bit. So my oldest son is 24. My youngest son is 8. So there's a big gap. There's a big gap. I sent my older kids had issues in the Fargo public school system, and they were unresolvable. I would just get more angry, and I would go, sit, listen, yell, get no traction with these people. They believe that those kids belong to them. They believe that they have a bigger stake in your kid's future than you do. And you know something? They're right. They're right. If you look at the amount of time you spend with your child versus some chuckle nut at the public school system who's represented by that chick who looks like a man in the teachers union, you realize that they're right. They have more influence than you do. They have more waking hours with your kid than you do. So, our journey, and again, I put my kids through Shanley and Oak Grove, and they were good schools, but they were not us. You know, there were aspects of both of those schools that I loved, but still, there's issues there. There are issues there, and I just because of who I am, I met so many because I'm a conservative. And just in the course of my life, I met so many great people. And these people, again, are salt of the earth people. They're farmers, they're ranchers, they're folks that work with their hands. They're folks with calluses on their hands, and they have families. Lots of time, big families. And I can tell you probably 80% of them homeschool. And I never really got it. And then we had Eli, and then we had a decision to make. And so I'm sitting down and we're talking, my wife and I, and it's not a small decision. Like, it's easy to ship your kid off to school. To me, that's an easy thing to do. Out of sight, out of mind. They're going to feed him. You basically got free daycare all day while you and your wife work. The kid comes home at night. You tuck him in, and there you go. Day's done. It's easy, in my humble opinion. And I'm not disparaging anyone that sends their kid to public school. I understand that there's and at one point when our country was a decent country, public schools were pretty good. You can get a good product out of public schools. You can't do that now. But anyway, I made this little video, and it gained a ton of traction, even though after I put it up, I got a Facebook strike. And I couldn't understand why. Still don't. It's under review right now. They didn't tell me why. They just said, and I posted exactly what they said. But even with that Facebook shadow ban, it got like 2,000 views. So there is a lot of interest out there for homeschooling. And I just wanted to let you guys know why we homeschool. And here's the video.
People ask, why do you homeschool Eli? Well, I'll tell you. First, I'm not handing my boy over to the school system to raise. He's not learning TikTok dances and gender pronouns. I want him to actually learn math. That other thing, it's not happening on my watch. This is a day in the life of my homeschooled son. You'll notice, unlike the school system that put kids in a room behind a desk for their entire childhood while the sun is shining outside, no river, no nature, nothing inspiring, just dim lights and four walls. Schools, jails, and hospitals all look exactly the same for a reason. It's not meant to inspire. It's a program designed to control the masses. When you need order, you make everyone do the same thing at the same time so you can track them, manage them, and monetize them. Well, that's not how my son will be raised. He doesn't need permission to go to the bathroom. This is his home. not a prison camp. We also teach them real life skills: cooking, cleaning, discipline, communication, sales, entrepreneurship, spirituality. He's not just memorizing facts for a test he'll forget tomorrow. What our society does to little boys is a tragedy. Their energy, curiosity, and excitement gets demonized. They are rough and tumble. They are aggressive. And what do? We throw them in a desk, tell them to shut up and sit still. When they can't, we dope them up on Adderall and medicate them into submission. Then we tell them that all the natural qualities that make them boys are bad. Their only value is if they can regurgitate information they're not even interested in. We as a society have to do better, because one day these boys are going to be men, and our society is going to lean heavily upon them. They'll be the ones taking care of the streets, running into burning buildings, putting food on grocery store shelves, and keeping the power grid on. So maybe, instead of trying to neuter our boys, we need to show a little more appreciation for who they are. At the end of the day, we are raising this strong, curious, high-energy boy into a Christ-centered warrior who's going to add real value and protection to his community. That's why we do this. That's why we homeschool. We homeschool because we love the guy. BlackBeardLogic.
Now, in hindsight, looking at that video, I think I may have caught why they kind of shadow banned me. There was a hog leg in one of those pictures. I just noticed that right now. Eli having like, and back in the day, you had hog leg safety in schools. But now, now that I'm looking at that video, I think that might have been it. I couldn't figure out what it was. And now looking at this video again, I think I know what it was, why I got that strike. That's insane. That is upsetting, actually, a little bit. But there you go, man. Oh, that just sucks. Fargo schools must be far more leftist than Bismarck. My kid and the majority of their classmates are Trump and Republican fans. Now, JD, I'm going to say something that might be a slightly controversial. Slightly. It seems to me that white female teachers have the lowest of expectations for minority children. The biggest fight I had with these schools was them normalizing mediocre work for my kids. Like, I'm an academic forward father. So my kids I expect them learning, having fun, but learning like 24 hours a day. And when they go to school and I see what I believe to be the dumbing down of my kids, like I was actually in a heated argument with a Fargo school teacher, West Fargo school teacher, who actually, I think that later on that year, had a Teacher of the Year award, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, so what are they just giving these things out like chiclets? I mean, this teacher, in my humble opinion, was horrible. But she told me, in front of my kid, that I set too high a standard for my kids. Now, granted, we had come up from Kansas City. My kids were pretty friggin' bright. And I know this because they're my kids. So if my kid is screwing around in class and I know that she's an A student and she brings home a C, It's unacceptable to me. So I asked for makeup work and that sort of thing, which in Kansas City wasn't a big deal. Teacher would be happy, they'd be stoked. And again, this is going to be controversial. I would say the majority of the teachers in Kansas City that we came in contact with were black. And I know that's going to blow some people's mind, but those black teachers, and again, I'm an involved parent. I'm one of those annoying parents. I'll be up there every day, you know. And they thought it was great. I'll tell you this too. This is just a little aside, but it'll show you the difference in thinking. When we were in Kansas City, my wife managed. I think they were called Section 42 housing, and these were very nice apartment buildings, and the residents fought against it. And I understood why they fought against having these, because what these apartment complexes were, they were subsidized housing for inner city people. So people with very low income, they were coming from the inner city and coming there. Now, obviously, there are going to be concerns and issues. I remember at some of the meetings, the homeowners going, the property value is going to go down, which is true. Crime is going to go up, which happened. I mean, and this is again from my personal experience. There was a Quick Trip right on the corner. Nice place, like awesome place. We used to go there, get Slurpees and things like that there. Really nice place. After these people moved in, like kids would just go in there with backpacks, fill them up. Like I was literally standing there while a group of kids came in, filled up their backpacks. And I looked at the cashier and I'm like, "You're not going to call the cops?" And they were like, "No, we were told pretty much that'd be racist." And again, this is back in the aughts. This was like 2019, 2020, you know, back then when we were in Kansas City. Crime did go up. Theft went up. Burglaries went up. Assaults went up. And what would happen is you get the sob story. You get the single mom with a brood of kids. And so everybody, that just kind of pulls at heartstrings. But what you don't see is that single mom making repeated bad decisions in her life. And she's not done making bad decisions. So the idiots, the bad decisions that she was making in the inner city, they now come over here to the nice neighborhood and bring everything, bring the value of those neighborhoods down. I actually saw, and in all of that garbage that I saw, like just a ton of horrible people moving in, there was this single mom who had boys, and she was like a hardworking mom. She wasn't the typical 5 baby daddy type mom, but she is a mother raising, I think it was 2 teenage boys. And those boys were causing trouble around the apartment complex. And she asked me what she should do about it. And I asked her about the father. And the father, you know, apparently they just didn't get along. He wasn't in jail, which is a big thing. He was still around, but they were apart. He was still living in the city. So had him come over. And man, this kid showed his butt. And this dad basically made him put his hands on the carport pole, pulled his belt off, and this is a teenager, and whipped him. And of course, you had the white Karen call the cops, and the cops that came were black. And the black officers spoke with the father, spoke with the mom. No charges were pressed. And the cops told the father, and I was standing there when this happened. Cops told the father, better you deal with him than we have to. That's real world. Now, the fake world that the Fargo and West Fargo schools and the white liberal teachers that are there, they don't have that mindset of a real world. They think they have to coddle the minority kids. They have low expectations for the minority kids. That teacher told me that I had too high of expectations for my kids. My daughter, who was first chair in Kansas, where there's much more competition for first chair, where she was a straight A student, where she has gold medals in academics. They're sitting right over there. Next time that that we do this podcast, I'll put them behind me. There are like 6 of them over there for science, for academics. So I know what the kid is capable of. So when a white Karen tells me that I have too high of expectation, again, when this kid took its first breath, I was there. I know more about my children than anyone on this planet outside of their mother, who carried them for almost a year in her body. Outside of their mother, I have the most accurate information about my kids. I know what they're capable of. I'm not going to argue with you, who is literally telling me my kid is too dumb to make an A when I know, or a B, when I know that that's not the case. I also know children. They will do what they're allowed to do. And if they can go to school and get away with doing less, knowing that there's no repercussions when they come home because the teacher has pretty much told them, that's a problem. And I immediately, I didn't wait around. After that last blow up in West Fargo, I immediately pulled all my kids out of public school. All of them. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing this. We are not doing this. My son Eli right now can probably outshoot bow and arrow and hog leg probably, I'd say 60% of men. And I'm not talking 22 caliber. I'm talking, I want to say this without getting a Facebook strike. Nina caliber and 5.56 long and short barrel and compound bow and recurve bow. He does man work. We don't coddle that kid. That kid has fun. You see him tooling around out there on that go-kart and running with his dogs and shooting things and bringing me robins that he's plucked off and prairie dogs. What are those, ground squirrels and things? That kid has tons of fun. We spend more time pulling ticks off this kid than anything, you know. But we also don't dumb anything down. We don't do that. In my humble opinion, that does not show your kid love. And it also says something about you. Your kids are capable of phenomenal things. But you got to put them there. You got to at least put it in front of them. I remember, again, Kansas City, Marcus, man, he was just a tiny little thing. Tiny little baby kid. I think he was still in diapers, actually. No, because he was walking around pretty good. And he was climbing up this jungle gym, like the kind that they had that was spherical. So it's bars, but it's shaped like a dome. And his mom was freaking out. Like, she was freaking out. And I'm like, no, let him do it. This is how boys learn their limits, what they can and can't do. If Marcus had needed my help, he knows that all he has to do is go, Dad, and I'm there. I'm going to grab him. But I'm not going there. I'm not going to hover under him because I want him to feel confident that I feel confident that he can get this done. Let's go. Just like the fight. Let's effing go. And that's not my pride talking. That's my kid. That's me believing that my kid can do extraordinary things because I believe in him. I believe in my kids. So it upsets me when you lower the standard for them. And it is extremely sad that in our day and age, black folks have seemed to forgotten that. Thurgood Marshall, Clarence Thomas, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, all the heroes that I talk about in my book that I'm still trying to get published, Godspark. Do you understand the level of adversity that these folks had to overcome? And you're going to tell me that my kid isn't capable of this thing? No, you tell your kids that. Me and my kids, we're going in another direction. And again, I understand everybody can't do the homeschooling thing. We couldn't. We didn't understand it. But once we got started, like there's no going back. There's absolutely no. We love the kid. We like having him. Even when I have to yell at him. Even when his mom is pulling out chunks of her hair in the corner. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But even when we're looking for him for 2 hours and he's been out in the barn messing around with the dogs, trying to find rabbits and all of that stuff, and he didn't take the walkie because he's supposed to, and we are freaking out because there are coyotes. Bo got bit by one last winter, and just even when that kind of stuff is happening, we love the kid, you know. And I see his potential. Saw it when he was born. Saw it before he took his first breath. I game played it out in my head. I know what this kid's going to be. I know how great he's going to be. And I told all my kids that. Like in all of my kids' babies book, you know, women, they do the whole baby book thing. You read the first page of that, you know where Leon stands. I mean, that's all you got to read on child rearing. And this was me way back then. Like, I don't think I had the motherhood God gave a cricket back then, but I still knew one thing, that I love my kids, and I saw great things, and I saw their potential. And there's not a white teacher on this planet that can match that. I don't give a damn how many licenses you have and merit honor badges and teachers of the year and all of that stuff. You'll never love or appreciate or see the potential in my kid that I do. And it is offensive to me when you say you do. I don't know how I got on that never baby coddle or enable. God, I got a lot of tons of A1 shop. It was actually on the news today that public schools are losing. Yeah, this is a true thing. Here, I'll put it up. Public schools are losing students each year to private and homeschool. That's it, because a lot of parents, especially during COVID, you know, you see what's going on. You know, you see what they're learning. Not to mention, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there are a ton of female teachers sexually exploiting young boys. A ton. A ton. It's unbelievable. Not to mention, they're tracking your kid. They brought electronics into the classroom. They put it right in front of your kid's face. All that information does not just stay in that school. It is not a closed system. Google gets all that information from the time your kid hits the door. So they build a profile. You understand how valuable that profile is? When you have a profile of a person from preschool through college. Do you understand how valuable that is? It's not about your kids. Never has been. It's why they want more money and we're getting dumber kids now. Oh, if you just throw a little more money at the... No. It's all a grift. It's all a scam. All of it. And they don't expect us to love our kids enough or to dig down deep enough to figure it out. And that's another sad truth. Just like the Minnesota story, there are way too many Minnesotans that are way too comfortable with that much money being stolen from them. And I would say that about the public school system. There are way too many parents. And I'm not even going to speak on white culture. I'll just speak from an African American perspective. There are way too many black parents who see the degradation in our culture, who see with their own eyes the disservice that public schools are doing to the minority cultures in this country, and they're okay with it. And they still vote Democrat. And they still send their kids to those schools. There is a bright light to that, though. A lot more minorities are choosing to homeschool, charter school. School choice is a big deal in the Christian African American community. You probably never heard that, but it is. It's a huge deal. It is a rising issue in the black Christian culture. And that's a good thing. Not the white fraudulent educators I know. About 50% of them are Dems teachers. I know here say the the school's about 50% Democrat, Republican as far as the teachers go. All right, I just had a big brain fart right there. Never baby coddle or enable your kids. Right. And I'll be honest with you, I don't coddle kids. If there were degrees of toughness, I'm tougher on my boys. Always have been. I think that they can take it. A lot, like when me and Eli are out there hitting that bag, you think I'm taking it easy on him? No, sir. And his brother, you think he takes it easy on him? No, sir. Eli's out there sweating. Give me one more, just one more push-up, Eli. Well, I can't, you got one more in you. Let's go, get it out the dirt. Let's go, and he cranks it out. That kid's so proud. He's so proud, especially when you get boys to overcome an obstacle. My God, their chest pops out just a little bit more. I believe that a hair grows on their chest every time. When you see those guys and they have a barrel chest and they have all that hair and back hair, they're overcoming the adversity. That's how that stuff happens. And I will stick to that. I'm not moving. I'm not budging from that point. Anyway, we'll move on to the next story right after this break. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701. We'll be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from BlackBeardLogic on the Guns in the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. mistake. Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I am Leon Francis, and this is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Welcome back. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, Guns in the 701. I'm running really... Why do you guys let me talk so much? I mean, I am... So the next story is a story that I love. It's Clarence Thomas, one of my most favorite justices. And he had this quote. As a matter of fact, I'll just play the quote. Here, give me 1 second. Here is Clarence Thomas, and then we're going to unpack this on the other side.
Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights.
All right. And so I noticed that was really low. So this is the quote. This is Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. The quote is, progressivism seeks to replace the basic premise of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our right. Spot. We do not have leaders who speak this way anymore. And it is a damn shame. Like, it's a shame. Our declaration. Well, here, I'm going to walk this back. I'm going to make a couple of points. His declaration as America's moral foundation. That's the first point. Like, guys like me and guys like Clarence Thomas, we view the Declaration of Independence as the philosophical bedrock of the United States. And I believe that is 100% true. Because our Declaration of Independence proclaims that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And these rights are natural rights. They are God-given rights. They pre-exist any government. The government's job is actually limited. Its chief goal, and this is what makes America exceptional. Our government's chief goal is limited to secure those God-given rights. The government can't give you anything. Wasn't meant to. Wasn't made to. Wasn't conceived to. When our founders sat down and conceived this whole thing that has gone for 250 years this year, they didn't want government doing anything but making sure that no one came in and screwed with your rights. That's it. That was it, in a nutshell. And if you remember, I'm trying to remember, a government of the people, by the people, for the people, that derives its just powers from the consent of the governed, not from divine right of kings and bureaucrats and elitists. That's like the crux of his argument there. And I saw so many liberals, so many progressives with their hair on fire because Clarence Thomas also said something a couple of weeks back that basically uh, um, the Supreme Court shouldn't rely so heavily on precedent. I am on Rumble. I don't think I hit it here, but I will. We need more Claire dogs and 100%, bro. 100%. What does all this diversity cost the school system that could use that that could that they could be using to teach just our kids instead of teaching English to 54 different immigrants? 100%. Like, again, it upsets me like you wouldn't believe when I hear schools asking for more money. When I heard how much the school out in West Fargo cost, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing? All that money, where's that money going? Oh, and it doesn't cover like school supplies, and the teacher is going into her own pocket to pay for pencils, and like, so where's the money going? Well, one place is all these immigrant kids, illegal and otherwise. Did you know that if there are illegal immigrants here, the school has to take them? Your kid has to, his educational academic value is eroded by those immigrant kids that they're pushing through your school system. Like your kid, and this goes for schools that also, and something I don't agree with, when they were, well, no, I'm going to walk that back. I got to think that out a little more. I'm going to say something, and it's not going to be good. But the fact of the matter is, I'll say it like this. So say you have a school, and this school has been homogenous for, I don't know, 100 years, consistently performing in the academic excellence category. And then you start, because of diversity, I mean, diversity, it's great. And then you start diversifying those classrooms. And then you notice things like, oh, wow, the SAT scores are going way down. Reading is going way down. Graduation, way down. There are a lot more fights in there. Nobody will stand up and say, wait a minute, this is a bad model. English as a second language, bringing your reading scores down and your math scores down. And all. Nobody has the balls to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, what are we doing here? I'll tell you guys a story about English translator in Bismarck schools at the Hog Leg Hootenanny. Good deal. Judge Clarence better start sleeping with the bulletproof vest. So, yep. Sorry, folks. That went down the wrong pipe. Hang on. Better start sleeping with a bulletproof vest so they don't Scalia him in some wet work. And that's one. Again, we have the memory of goldfish. How weird was that? How weird was that, Scalia? All right. We want to go down that track. But second point that he made in this quote was the fact that progressivism is a direct threat. And I believe that. Modern progressivism, and that goes all the way back to Woodrow Wilson in the early 20th century administrative state, flips this script entirely. It treats rights as a gift from government, privileges that can be granted, regulated, expanded, revoked based on evolving social goals, expert opinions, or majority will. That is not a thing. When God grants something, it is do you know what inalienable means? It means over my dead body, literally. Literally, rights that cannot be taken from you involuntarily unless you're dead. They are as much a part of you as my skin tone is to me. Like no one can take my skin tone from me. That's what inalienable means. That's why when I see people eroding like the Second Amendment, or eroding the right to life, or eroding free speech rights, and things like that. We don't fight hard enough for those rights. Like there is a hard. I'm teaching my son. Like we'll just take his Second Amendment rights. No, you don't need some special permit to carry your firearm because that's what the Second Amendment is. We don't even think this way anymore. Anyway, and that's what you get when, again, government schools, they're not teaching your kid to be an individual. They're not teaching your kid to have critical thinking skills. They're teaching your kid to be a cog, to be a good government civil servant. That's what they're teaching him. They're not teaching him to be the best father he can be, or the best farmer he can be, or the best son he can be, or the best Christian he can be. They're not. They're teaching. What they are doing is they're crafting him to be a tax-paying cog, so they can feed the beast, feed the Leviathan, and he's controllable. That's why I said in that video. That's why everything looks the same. A prison, a school, a hospital. It's all of them look the same because they're all meant to control you. Your free will is not free will anymore. Even your thought process isn't yours anymore. Everything that your parents teach you, everything that your faith teaches you, what they are doing, they are actively replacing that in our kids, which is why we have so many broken kids. And I don't understand why more people don't understand that single point. When we have a bunch of experts saying this is the way things should be, and it's one size fits all, no. Nope. Our founders would have run those experts out on a rail. A little tar, little feathers, that sort of thing. Anyway, let's go. Speech codes and censorship justified as protecting dignity. Like I said at the beginning of the show, Facebook dinging me for saying completely true things. That's censorship. This is social media is the new public square. We don't get our soapbox out, sit in the middle of City Hall, and get on top of that thing and say our opinions anymore. All of that is social media. It is the public square, and it should be 100% uncensored. Like when we said the actual real true thing that the 2020 elections was stolen. That's a true thing. I mean, we saw the videos. We saw them pulling out boxes of ballots and stuffing the ballot. I mean, we saw all this, but if you said it, no one would hear it because they would take down whatever platform you were on, they would immediately axe you from. Who does that help? That helps a tyrannical government. That's what China does. That's what North Korea does. That's what Iran does. They censor the information that their citizens can obtain. Gun control that treats the Second Amendment as outdated and a second-class right. Healthcare, education, or income as rights that require massive government redistribution. So, you ever notice that when the government declares something a right, it costs you money? It costs you something. God gives you, your God-given rights don't cost you a thing. Not a thing. You're God-given. But if government gives you a right, guaranteed you're going to pay for that right. It shifts the power from the individuals and the civil society, the family, the churches, the local communities, to centralize federal bureaucracies. And Judge Thomas calls this retrogressive because it regresses towards the very tyranny the founders rebelled against, ruled by an unaccountable elite who believe they know better than anybody else. Third point he made was the subservience versus self-government. The most stinging part of his comments there was progressivism requires of the people a subservience and weakness. And we see this playing out daily. A citizenry taught to look to Washington for solutions instead of taking personal responsibility. Dependency on government programs that erode self-reliance and family structures. Cultural messages that portray traditional American values like faith and work ethic. You remember when they said work ethic, having a work ethic was white supremacy. Being on time, punctuality, yeah, that's white supremacy. SAT scores, white supremacy. Like individual liberty as oppressive or outdated. The Constitution, our Constitution, was written for a strong, morally grounded, self-reliant people capable of governing themselves. That's what our founders believed. A weak, dependent population, it needs and it tolerates ever-growing government control. And Justice Thomas warns that those two worldviews cannot coexist. One sees rights as a sacred and transcendent thing, and the other sees them as malleable and political. And that's dangerous. I think it was Ronald Reagan that said, anything that the government can give to you can also take it away from you. And that's true. It's not a right. If the government gave you something, that's not a right. So healthcare is not a right. I'm sorry. Housing is not a right. And you see these talking points all over the place. Healthcare is a right. Abortion is a right. Housing is a right. Medical care is a right. No, it's not. No, it's not. Why does this matter now? Justice Thomas is probably the most originalist voice on the court, and he is sounding the alarm as America approaches its 250th birthday. He's urging courage, the same courage that the signers of the Declaration showed in pledging their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. And for us, this speech is a call to reclaim founding principles, limited government, individual liberty, equality under the law, not equalities of outcome, and the idea that legitimate government protects God-given rights rather than replacing God as their source. Justice Thomas draws a pretty, Reagan used to talk about this, no pale pastel colors, bright primary colors. What he is doing there, he's drawing a bright red line. founding Americanism equals our rights coming from God, limited government, strong, free people. And progressivism equals rights from government, expansive state power, dependent, compliant citizens. It's like it's one of the most clearest, most forceful defenses of constitutional conservatism that I've seen in years. And I'm so stoked. When I heard this, I knew I had to do something with this. And it explains why so many people on the right see him as not just a Supreme Court justice, but as a principled defender of the American experiment against ideologies that would fundamentally transform it. And we have to be careful. I said this in a prior podcast. Our form of government, our founding documents work for a moral and just populace. But they also work for a hedonistic, debauched, dependent populace. And that's the teeter-totter we're on. Because if you believe in liberty, you believe in liberty. That means it doesn't matter how I feel, and this is the argument that progressives use, it doesn't matter how I feel about homosexuality. That's a liberty thing. Do I want it taught to my son? No, so I homeschool. Doesn't matter how I feel about transgenderism. That's a liberty thing. I also happen to believe that we have laws against abuse of children. So should it be in anywhere near a school? Absolutely not. And a moral populace would see a guy dressed as a woman around children and have a sock party for him. That's how we used to be. That's how we should be now. A population that polices itself. But again, our documents, our form of government is only for a moral and just people. And I have to sign off because I ran long. It is 8 o'clock. I want you guys to get over to Vance's page like right now. Like I want to see, I'm going over there now. And I want to see all of you guys. I want to see his count just start pinging up. Ping, 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 ping. 223 is God's cartridge. Right. JD, come on, man. You are correct, though. So I'll leave you with that. Head over to Vance Bishop's page. I'm going to go over there right now. Good night. God bless. BlackBeardLogic. Guns in the 701. Thanks for listening. God bless.